Hi everyone, I'm Scott from Sharky's Greenhouses and Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer, and today we're going to be talking about drought-resistant bedding plants. So we've got, this is not a comprehensive list, we just picked 3 of them, and these are the 3 that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about Gazanias, Portulaca, which is also known as moss roses or purslane, has a couple different names, and wax begonias. So we're going to start on this end with the Gazanias. Now, the Gazanias are a South African plant, so they can handle that high heat. They like that hot, dry conditions. They can go much drier, and all of these bedding plants that we're showing, they're going to be about the same height. So they're going to be in the 8 to 10 inches or so, 8 to 12 inches high. So they're going to be kind of that little bit lower growing. So the Gazanias, take a look at how absolutely gorgeous all these colors are. The Gazanias are really stunning. And you know, if your neighbor has a window box full of Gazanias, this is the only time where it's appropriate that you can say, "Hey Edna, nice Gazanias," and maybe not get slapped. So these Gazanias are absolutely gorgeous and they turn out fantastic. They are just a very happy plant, and the Gazanias will open and close with the sun, so you really need to know that because yeah, if you have an overcast day, these Gazanias will close up. And this is the only one that I'm showing that really does need to be deadheaded, so that's another consideration. If you're not into deadheading Gazanias, you really do need to do that. And what that looks like, so these are all these flowers are good, but you can see that these are spent. So I like to take that down. It's real easy to just go through and nip them off, but I like to take and go all the way down, because if you just take it off behind the head, you'll end up having this stick. So you might as well go through and take it off all the way down. And it doesn't take long to go through and deadhead them, and it's real easy that once they're spent, they get real spindly and dried up. And if you don't do that, they're going to want to go to seed, and they almost look like a little dandelion where they'll get fuzzy. So you definitely do want to go through and deadhead the Gazanias. So moving on to Portulaca or moss rose or purslane. It's three names for the same flower. Now these are very hardy. They have this little moss rose looking little flower, and that's where it gets that name from. And they're very hardy. I like to think of them almost like a little succulent, because they have these really fat, thick leaves that hold that moisture in it. And this is a great one. You know, we have in our area, we're the Northwoods of Wisconsin, we have a lot of vacationers that come up and they have a cabin, you know, on the lake or wherever, and they want to put something in at their cabin, and they're only going to be up maybe once a week, and they're like, "Scott, what can I put in at my cabin? I'm only going to be, you know, here Friday, Saturday, and head back to the city on Sunday." So, you know, and I am a daily care kind of guy. I'm like, well, you know, all of those flowers need to have daily care, but there are some bedding plants, some flowers that can handle going a little bit drier, and certainly the moss roses are one of them, because like I said, they're almost like a little flowering succulent where it holds that moisture and it holds it in nicely. So these are great to grow. They turn out fabulous when all of these, you know, all these little moss roses pop their flowers. They're really stunning, and they're so hardy. And this flower is another one, just like the Gazanias. They have to have that sunlight to be opened up, otherwise they'll put themselves to bed. You know, on an overcast day or a cloudy day, that flower will close down. So you have to have that full sunlight. So moving on to the wax begonias. Now, wax begonias, honestly, they are my go-to flower for just, you know, super simple care. There's really nothing that you have to do with the wax begonias. They just perform. They can handle the sun or full shade. They just perform. You know, that's great. They're almost like that perfect flower that can handle full sunshine to, you know, full shade. They just don't fuss at all. And again, they have this really big thick leaf, and they can go dry. When they go dry, nothing happens. You know, they just kind of sit there. They just kind of sit idle. Where, yeah, you have a petunia or, you know, all kinds of other flowers that they go dry, boy, they start fussing. And wax begonias don't do that. And what's really cool is the leaves are even different. So you can see the difference in these two. I have the green leaf wax begonias, but also there's this bronze leaf wax begonia that just, if you want a different look, this bronze color is really neat. But I love using this even in like mixed combo planters. You know, you put some nice baskets together or combo planters and you have all different things. Wax begonias are always my go-to for, you know, I need a little filler here and there and I just want to put a little something in there. I usually stick in a wax begonia because it just fills that up. It'll grow in real nicely, and they don't fuss at all, but they give that nice little dainty flower. Now, as far as cleanup, I talked a little bit about the Gazanias that yes, you absolutely do need to deadhead them. The wax begonias and the moss roses, there's not a whole lot that you have to do. I don't do anything really with the wax begonias. Yeah, if you want to run your finger through and maybe clean up some of those spent flowers, you can do that. And what really helps is when you water them and when they're wet and you just run your finger through and it's just kind of wet, those spent flowers will just kind of stick to your fingers, and then you can just get rid of them. The moss roses, you can go through, you can see there's some spent flowers here. You can go through and pick them out if you want to. A lot of times I don't do anything with the moss roses. I just let them go and let them have their life cycle. So all of these will take full sun with the exception of the wax begonias. Those can take sun or shade. So definitely full sun for the moss roses and the gazanias. But the wax begonias, they can take either or. They're all going to be fertilized once a week with the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. That helps keep driving and pushing those blooms out nicely. So, and really they're so easy to care for. They're drought resistant, which is a great bonus for so many of, especially our customers. You know, they have the cabin and they can just, these three flowers, they really can tolerate being, you know, a little bit more abuse than your normal bedding plants can. So consider the gazanias, the moss roses, or the wax begonias, where if you have those areas that really need a hot, dry conditions or something that's just really carefree. Like I said, this is not a comprehensive list. There are a lot out there, but I just wanted to highlight these three today. If you're liking our videos, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and follow us on Facebook, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. And you can also head on over to our beatyourneighbor.com website, and we have lots of blog articles and tips and tricks there, and of course our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer is available. And that's all over at beatyourneighbor.com. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.